So I'm making all the passes I make in the game, whether it's come off a screen, inside hand, left hand, inside and right hand, or even the hook passes to the corner when you come off a screen. I think, bigger cities, it's hard to really get in contact with their stars or their best players, but I know people from Seattle are always one call away, no matter what it is.
Literally.
And then he ended up being like, well, Terrell, you're starting. I'm like, but the crazy thing about this, now here this is the crazy thing. So before that, you know how you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to What Doesn't Appear on the Stat Sheet podcast. I'm here once again with John, another special guest today.
Super special guest, man. We got Terrell Brown on the pod today. Obviously grew up in Seattle, Washington. Played at the Rotary Boys and Girls Club. Played at Garfield High School, where he won 2 state championships. Started his college career at Shoreline, and then played actually 2 seasons here at Seattle University. Then he went on to go play at Arizona, where he played for a year, and then obviously a year with the Washington Huskies. Terrell is now playing for the Swarm.
Yeah.
Yep. Swarm in the G League, and man, just a guy who continues to defy all the odds, man. And I've been able to watch a lot of his hoop career, and boy, it's been special. So can you just for our first question here, can you briefly just kind of talk about your hoop journey, why hoops, what you love for the game,
Man, growing up, why basketball? That's the question you always ask.
Right.
I think you fall in love with it because it's a children's game. It's a game, and it's just something that I grew passionate about. I think my parents just only let me play basketball. I never got a chance to play any other sport besides basketball.
That's dope.
Until I got older, middle school, I actually played football. All my friends were playing football. I broke my wrist, and that ended my football.
You're done.
They didn't play a game. Just in practice, broke my wrist. So that was done. But basketball just been something that's always close to me. Just growing up, in the city, seeing dudes like, Brandon, Rory, Tony Roten, Jamal Crawford.
So many.
Will Conroy, Nate Robinson. And then dudes that's closer to my age is Zach LaVine and DeJounte Murray.
Yep.
Those type of dudes. And Paulo.
Oh, yeah. Killing.
Killing.
Yeah.
But even so, it was just like having Seattle just a rich basketball state, or you could say city, but Washington in general state. Isaiah Thomas and all those type of guys from Tacoma and Western Washington, Eastern Washington. But growing up was just straight basketball. My mom actually worked at a tennis center, so I used to do tennis lessons. Wasn't the fondest of playing tennis until now. I watch tennis, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dang, I wish I would have did some more tennis. Then you learn the things they get from winning. It's Rolex watches and stuff like that. Cause they're sponsored by it. But basketball's always just been my passion. From a kid till now, and still, learning and trying to grow in the game of basketball.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, we like to ask our guests this, get a different perspective. Why do you think, you talk about all the people that came from Seattle, why do you think that is? Why do you think Seattle, of all the areas, it has such an impact on the NBA world, the basketball world, the general international game? Why do you think that is? Why Seattle?
Yeah, I just think it's the brotherhood. I think it's the biggest thing is that, even from, dudes that are older from me and John, is they always pass it down.
Oh yeah.
So that's the biggest benefit I feel like for Washington, is that the older dudes always pass it down to the dudes that's next up. Jamal passed it to, you can say Brandon, and Brandon passed to Isaiah, and then Isaiah passed to DeJounte and Zach, and then so on and so on. Jamal passing it still down to Paulo, and DeJounte passing it down to me. Helping me out whenever I need something from learning about basketball. Yeah. Even though I was at IT, I seen IT yesterday in the gym. He asked me how I was doing. We chopped it up, and we just talk about basketball. But it's just so rich, and just the thing is that we're pushing it forward for people that's you can say 7 years old right now that doesn't know what they want to do when they grow up, but then also have that grassroots of okay, we can see these type of dudes. I think bigger cities, it's hard to really get in contact with their stars or their best players, but I know people from Seattle are always one call away, no matter what it is.
Literally. No, I can definitely play to that, man. These guys they're always willing to help, man. I feel like whenever, someone's going through anything or whatever it may be, they're always there. One phone call away to this point. You talk about some of those pros, what are some of the things you've taken away from them? Like whether it's like, you know, on the hoop side or mentality side, like what are some things that you like to take from them?
I was thinking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I remember when I was at the University of Washington, I used to work out with Isaiah at 6 o'clock with Will Conrad.
Yeah.
And the thing I see every day from Isaiah is like just the work he puts in.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like get lost in the track of like, it always grounds you to like be wanting to do more. As like for myself, it adds fuel to my fire. Like I gotta get better, you know. I'm watching Isaiah shoot 23s in a row and making 20 out of 21.
Yeah.
And he's been a pro. He was like like you think about it, like in hindsight, he was a top 5 in the MVP race at one point in time. So we're saying I'm watching somebody that is literally still working his tail off, you know, and still waiting for his opportunity to like grind. So I was like, I know I didn't do enough. Like he was a top 5 MVP, and this is the way he works. I'm barely doing anything compared to this dude, you know. So it's always add that fire to yourself from him just watching him. Like I'm you know 27 now. I'm still watching somebody like literally watching like this with my sitting up watching him shoot like a kid, you know. Like this dude doesn't miss.
No.
So you think about like, you know, the level that he was always played at is great. You know, even DeJounte, just talking to him just more about life, you know, just understanding like, you know, he's always one phone call away. And then you can also like talk to him about different things, just personal, basketball, how to deal with certain situations. You know, he's someone that I can talk to a lot about just anything. Brandon was always there for me in high school, you know, Jamal, like all them guys. So it was just big just to have that, you know, people to lean on, because sometimes, you know, your pride always gets in the way to ask for help. And I mean, you can always say like the cliche that the worst thing they can say is no, which is true. And some people always have that thing like, yo, do you mind helping me break down this film? Yeah. Like people are willing to do that. All you gotta do is ask. You know, that's just the barrier of the pride and ego of like not asking. You know? So,
Exactly.
And how grateful are you looking back on your basketball career and where you are now to being a sponge and having that much talent, that much support around you? How much has that helped?
It helped a lot, just because like you really like basketball is always you're always doing something. So eventually you need to give yourself grace and see how far you came from. Like if you would have told me starting at Shoreline, I went to University of Arizona for a year. Come on now, like I was just trying to get a Division I offer at that point. So then you just always just like appreciate all the little things, and that's what I learned from actually Ken Bazemore. He was on my team last year. So he's a vet.
He's a vet. He played in the league for a while, right? He
played with the London Hawks team.
That's right.
So like he's always used to tell like, man, get yourself some grace. Like think about like where you came from, like the situation that you prayed on and like wished you had. You're in that position right now. Like, still be that little kid that enjoy the little things. So Ken Bazemore had like he was only with me for I believe a season, but like he had a huge impact just to talk to him because he's been through it. I mean, NBA runs, playoffs. Played with the Hawks with Paul Millsap, Al Horford, that good team.
60-win team.
Yeah, 60-win team. Yeah. So things like that, like you just pick different people's brains and like be a sponge to it. Just not just from Seattle, but just basketball in general, because you can meet a lot of different people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people listen to your story, man, like, and just say like this guy's battled through a lot of adversity. Yeah. Talk about how you've handled some of that adversity and like what are the ways you combat, the pitfalls, the ups and downs of a career.
Man, I just knew that I didn't want to be denied, I didn't want to be the one that didn't get to where he wanted to get to. Yeah. So it was just like, you got to work, a little bit more. You got to work a little bit harder. And if that's sometimes sacrificing those nights of people going out and hanging out with friends and you're in the gym, or for myself, it's like I had to graduate junior college in a year, which was like my whole summer was ruined because I had to take like 25 to 30 credits in one summer.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't have that full college experience because I was always like trying to catch up, and always knowing like there's something else out there that I really wanted. So like I was willing to make the sacrifices. And that was just the biggest thing, just knowing like there wasn't always the best days and always, the high days. But as much as I can, just like relax and like breathe and just know like there's another day. You're gonna worry about it tomorrow. Like it's gonna be here tomorrow, regardless if you stress about it right now.
No, 100%.
And that's still stuff you deal with as an adult. Like you know, you always wonder like, where am I gonna play at next year, or what am I gonna do next year?
Yeah.
If I stress myself out about today and then I'm stress myself about it tomorrow, I just deal with it when it gets to that, you know, that bridge and that road, instead of like putting all that pressure on myself, because you can't think clearly when there's a lot of pressure.
No.
The most, like, when you're calm and understand everything, and it's like, okay, now everything's in order, I'm fine. I'll figure out the right decision.
Right.
Talk about your time here at SU, right here at SU. You started off as a walk-on and had a great career. Talk about that process, getting started at SU, and then with the biggest thing maybe you took away from your time here.
Man, SU was crazy. You know, like, as a walk-on, you ain't expected to play. You ain't expected to do nothing for real.
At this level, yeah.
At all, like, for real, like, you're just a practice player at that point. But then that just goes into the work I put in. I mean, you know, going to junior college, you know, you take vans to games across to the ferry and Bremerton and all that other stuff, you know? Or you're driving yourself. So then once you get that access of like, man, I come from a junior college where I had to access to get into the gym. Now I got a key card. Think about that. You got a key card to get into the gym. I'm like, that's all I needed.
And it's open all day?
All day. Like SeattleU was open all day. And once you get your key card, I'm in there. I'm in the gym. I know that I put my loop in the little loophole, and it's gonna be washed by tomorrow. Yeah. But just like, I didn't expect to play, but you know, I'm confident enough to know like I know I put the work in. So when I get my opportunity, I'm gonna seize, you know, make the most of it. I'm gonna seize the opportunity, and that kind of happened. We had a scrimmage, in front of the donors, I believe.
Okay,
breakfast scrimmage. It was like in the morning.
Yeah.
And I played really well, and then we had like a scrimmage right before we played Stanford.
Okay.
And something happened between that and, you know, I was on the second unit, and I think we ended up winning by like 2 points or 3 points. Yeah. And something happened within that practice. It, you know, Coach Hafer brought everybody together and was like, you know, does Terrell give us, you know, any attitude? Does he talk back? Does he do this? Like, is he, you know, like everybody was like, nah, he's, you know. And then he ended up being like, well, Terrell, you're starting. I'm like, but the crazy thing about this, now hear this is the crazy thing. So before that, you know how you go on the road to play different schools. Yeah. Like the Riverside, like you would go take it's like a scrimmage, like an
exhibition scrimmage.
Yeah, scrimmage, like it's a close scrimmage. Bro, I kid you not, we went to California, and
just went down there. Wow.
Yeah, bro, we went to California, and I didn't play.
You didn't?
I didn't play in a scrimmage, like at all.
Wow. And this is after the red-white game? Like after the Donut game? Or?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not 100%, but I think so. I didn't play. So I'm like,
what?
It might have been before. Might have been before the red and white game. Right. I didn't play. So I'm like, dang, like, did I make the wrong choice? So I'm on the phone with Trey Simmons, and we're talking. I'm like, I don't know, like, what's going on?
Another Seattle legend.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's like my big brother, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I didn't play. Like, I don't know if I made the right decision. Yeah. So then we ended up going to Idaho, I believe, for a scrimmage, and I only played like a little bit, maybe like 10 minutes in the scrimmage. And I was like doing like the end of game scenario, like it's like 20 seconds left or something like that.
I know what he likes.
So I'm like, dang, like I'm only, you know, maybe 11 minutes total, 12 minutes total. Like what's going on? But then it like this tells you like the work you put in, you know, and you know you gain the trust from your coaching staff, from Coach Vic to Nick. Coach Nick right now is in Kentucky. Okay. So it's just like the work you put in and just trusting it, you know, trusting your work. It was crazy, bro. Like, and then my first game is against Dejan. That's right. So it was like, what the heck?
What the heck's going on?
Stanford, like, you don't think that stuff happens, but it's like,
it's all like full circle. Almost.
Yeah, full circle, exactly. So it was crazy. But those 2 years was great here.
Kind of set up for your, you know, the rest of your career.
Yeah, I mean, the dudes I had on my team were good dudes. We still talk today. Like Joe Wall, Joe Wall's with a walk up. Matt Vale, you know, Riley, like, all those dudes. You know, Aaron Nettles, Morgan. Like we had a good team. And then the year that we was really gonna like make a push was the COVID year. So we got down to Vegas, and it was like season over. It was like. And then it's like, all right, well, that's just, you know, the end of that chapter. Let me try to do something else.
Yeah. Talk about, like, the importance of, like, having a relationship with your teammates. Like, and how vital that is to, you know, team success, your success, just on the whole, you know, on the whole big picture of a team.
So, I like to use this example now. The 4 best teams, or the 4 teams that are currently playing in the NBA Finals are the Pacers. Correct. The Knicks. Yeah. So, Timberwolves and OKC. OKC has the best odds, quote unquote,
Yeah.
to win.
Right.
They're the best team. Like, they're the most connected team.
Right.
Every day, they're all in the same thing, post-game conference, playing towels on each other.
Been together for years. Now no one really was
Grown
traded
together.
or anything. Grown.
But then also the Pacers, they all like each other. It's so hard, like that, and that's why I feel like OKC
Such
and
a difference,
Pacers.
yeah.
It's so hard to beat teams that all want to just win and get along.
Yeah.
Like even like Florida,
Bro,
that won the tournament this year.
they're like this.
All those teams that like are like this always end up winning more games. Like it's not just individual talent. Houston, the culture that Coach Sampson builds.
Yeah.
That's why they're always relevant. That's why they always do what they do. This is like the unity. And I think like when you get team success, you get individual success. Nobody told me, you can tell me like before the season, Walter Clayton's going to be All-American.
Yeah, what? You'd be like, what?
Like you would think so, but like you would like,
Yeah.
I don't think Florida would be that good neither.
Right.
But it's the culture that they have and the team, the camaraderie
Yeah.
of, just playing together and being together. So I just think like, once you get team success, individual success, comes along with that.
Yeah.
But I always feel like, being connected with your teammates off the court is big as being on the court. We can like locker room talks. I mean,
Yes.
it's not like crazy, but just hanging out, just laughing,
Yeah.
watching the game on the TV, just in the locker room, can just be chilling,
Right.
But I just think that's a huge part of, success. And now you can see it in the NBA. Like you always going like, is, super teams over, like the big three era over, and
Yeah.
now it's more teams. We're seeing the people with the deeper team making a bigger push.
It's 100% true. And you probably saw that in your career too, right? You've had really close teams, and oftentimes they have way more. You guys have way more success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how much that matters and how much that impacts winning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what you said kind of remind me. We had Cameron Tyson on earlier,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He was talking about when he was talking about the numbers get smaller from college to pros,
Yeah.
and he was talking about a lot of players who have the talent. He said don't make it because they're just assholes. He said. And you talk about when you were talking about your story, how you got from a walk-on to a star. You say people ask, was he rude? Was he this? Or talk about the importance of actually being close with your teammates, actually being good to the donors, the organization, and that in general.
Yeah, you just give thanks to it. You know, like you don't like people don't understand like there's only a few players in the G League, maybe 4 or 5, that can score their way into the NBA. Everybody else has to have a role.
And be a star, right?
You got to be a star in the role.
Yeah.
Either it's making shots, it's either playing defense, it's either rebounding, setting screens, to get other people open. And like you said, Cam was saying, like your numbers go down for sure because you got to figure out your role. Like my role in college was scoring. I had to score, but my role shifted in Arizona, where I had dudes like Ben Mathurin and Dalen Terry and Christian Coloco and Azulis Tabelas. Some guys needed the ball, you know what I'm saying? So it changed from me scoring to like, okay, let me understand this. And I would say like my fun this year wasn't at Arizona because it was so hard and I didn't understand it now. Like I didn't understand it then of shifting my role into helping what the team needed until now.
Yeah.
As I got to a pro.
They're like, dang.
I know I'm not going to go to an NBA team to be averaging 20 points. I'm here to make sure I don't turn over the ball.
Yeah.
I'm here to make sure that everybody's organized and I know every spot and be a good team player. There would be some days that, like TJ McConnell.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He comes in the game and he creates opportunities for himself, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 8 minutes, whether it's 11 or 15. And his role can be bigger depending on how Tyrese is playing, or it can be smaller, but he's a good player. He's always going to encourage his teammates. And dudes like that get paid money, a lot of money. Like you get $12 million a year just to be a backup, and then you're a good player, and you're a good teammate, and then when you have an extended role, you still produce.
Yeah.
Like things like that, just being a good person helps a lot. Like you don't really dudes that think they're too good and have that ego. They get pushed aside because there can always be another one.
It's like next. Yeah.
It's next, especially in the NBA.
Oh my gosh.
G League, if you're an asshole, I don't know if I can cuss it.
No, it's all good.
Okay. But if you're not a good teammate, I ain't gonna deal with you. Because somebody else a person like me will love that opportunity.
Yeah.
So why would we pay you a lot of money to be an a-hole, and then we can pay somebody that's not gonna give us a headache, that's gonna be here on time, gonna be here early,
gonna give it his all.
every day.
Every day.
Why would we not give him the opportunity?
Right.
Yeah, so it's things like that happens in professional world.
For sure. You know, I watched, I don't know if you're watching like the LeBron Nash podcast, but they talked about last night, they go, the importance of role players and like them being a star in their role. I mean, you look at guys like Caruso. I mean, I was watching like Caruso last night. Like his ability to like defend ball screens and, you know, defend one of their best players, and that's Edwards.
He was guarding Jokic.
Jokic, yeah.
Jokic.
Well, it's like
Randall.
Well, it's like those guys make such an impact. Talk about, and I kind of want to shift. Not really, but talk about the jump from college to the pros. What do guys that are, you know, looking to take that jump, what do they need to keep in mind?
I think the biggest thing is that understanding and being able to be coachable.
Coachable. Okay.
Knowing like the coach is gonna try his best to put you in position to succeed, but then you can go through ups and downs in rookie year always.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're consistent in your work, and as long as you're consistent in just watching film. Film's big. Film's big regardless. College,
you have to.
Pro, you gotta watch film. It makes the game slower. And not of you like moving slow, but you seeing everything more.
Right.
You know what's coming. So
right.
And that's the benefit. I always feel like, my role was come off the bench this year. There's some games I started, but coming off the bench is like, okay, I can see how they're playing defense now off a ball screen. So now I'm telling my big that's coming in with me, yo, the pocket's gonna be there. Be ready to shoot that, or look out and make the right, read. Because a lot of the time when you're playing, you don't really people don't really see like. If you bring two to the ball and you make the play of him the short roll over the top, the play set, now it's on him. Like you did the right read. Right. So now you pick on the 4 on 3 or the 3 on 2 on the backside, and now it depends on the big to make the right read.
Right.
But just knowing the importance of having a role and knowing your role. Some people get like messed up and not knowing like their true role.
Right. Right.
And it's like, all right, like. We get it. Like you could play basketball. Like everybody could be like, we need you to do this for our team to be successful.
Right. To win.
And that's just what I feel like understanding is more gaining the concept of what you need to do to be successful.
Does I have a question? So does winning matter as much as it mattered in college at that level?
Yeah.
Or is it more? Okay, it does.
You want to be. You want to be involved with winning.
Yes.
Because you can. So how the G League I feel like sometimes works is that you can come from a winning team, and be like a 6th or 7th man, and then you can go to another team and average 25. Like I said, there's only a few dudes that can average 25 and get a call up on a bad team. Right. So it's like if you win, you're like, okay, you bring a good concept, like you bring good culture, good structure.
Like these NBA teams, they value that.
They value that. Yeah. I feel like that. And that's what our coaching staff says. Like the most sought out player, and he told us before the season was crazy. The most sought out player last year before the trade deadline was Alex Caruso.
Yeah.
He was the most sought out player to get traded. He was at the Bulls.
You would never like.
And you wouldn't think why would he be the most sought out? Like he's not. Brandon Ingram. He's not.
Numbers don't jump out at you.
You're not like looking at it. Like, oh my god.
Exactly. But now you're seeing like what he's doing now.
The impact.
The impact of winning.
Right.
Is you could tell his value. He guards freaking 1 through 5. He hits open threes, and he plays maybe 16 minutes a game.
Those are like.
And they're huge minutes.
Huge,
like his plus minus might be like 22 in 16 minutes is like crazy. Yeah. But like it's just like he's gonna do what the team needs him to do every time for his whole season. He figured out like his way, like his stitch to stay in the NBA. He don't get paid forever. Like dudes like that know their role. Like I'll be surprised if he ever leaves OKC.
I don't think he will. Yeah.
Unless somebody calls and says like Derek White.
Derek White.
Yep, exactly.
Derek White was with the Spurs. He was a backup. He got his opportunity with Boston, and everybody wants Derek White this summer.
Oh my gosh.
Reports and everything.
And he's valued because he can, hit an open shot. Mm-hmm. He plays defense. He plays hard, and he's about the right thing. Like he's about the right things.
About that's the word. About the right things. Mm-hmm. Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm. Same thing. They're not scoring 30 a night like Tatum and
Drew Holiday. They have dudes to do that.
They have dudes, right?
But Drew Holiday's role. I think Drew Holiday maybe averaged 6 or 8 points this playoffs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they Jason got hurt, and Jaylen Brown was hurt, but his role was to play defense and hit open shot if it needed to. But I'm gonna play defense. He started going Brunson, picking up full court, and trying to change the game. But dudes like that excel in their role. People know what like they do. Payne Pritchard.
Same thing.
Right. Just dudes that just enhance the role and love the role.
Yeah.
Are always gonna be successful. I feel like.
100%.
It seems like you watch a lot of NBA and you watch a lot of basketball in general. Do you have any players you look at to kind of grab things from the game and implement it into your own?
Good question.
Man, growing up, well, not even saying growing up. Like I definitely watch people from Seattle, but like as I got older, like smaller guards, like the Brunsons. Him not being athletic, similar to me, I'm not athletic at all, but playing on 2 feet. Fred VanVleet is another one. I mean, his whole story of not being drafted to, G League to NBA to now, he's with Houston, and he was one of the main factors in Houston this playoff series of hitting shots
and he was a key piece to that championship Toronto team.
In Toronto team.
Oh, that's
exactly.
right. Good point.
So like, just dudes like that, smaller guards, but then you also like you like to look at dudes that are. You can't say one in a generation, but like those dudes that like star power, like LeBrons and Luka, like them dudes is tough, Giannis, like Jokic,
oh my god,
like stuff them dudes do. You still watch basketball, but like dudes that like are my size, close to me, it's like okay, let's see what I can take from his game, and implement it into my game. Take bits and pieces from it. That's all it is. It's like a catalog. You just rip a page out somebody else's, put it in yours, and add your own, feel to it.
I think in this day and age, I kind of want to shift gears here, but in this day and age, you have so many distractions. You got social media, you got a kind of a me, all about me culture. Mm-hmm. How are you able to combat some of that noise that's out there?
That's funny you said that, like how social media. So one of another team that I had, I was really close with, RJ Hunter. Mm-hmm. So he went to Georgia State. He's the one that hit the three, and his dad fell at the chair during the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You probably seen it like on the NCAA
tournament. Probably seen it, yeah.
But he literally posted on his Instagram like people are going back to having cell phones without social media.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, that's crazy because social media are really killing people. Like this.
It is
about like, I guess you could say like doing things that they wouldn't normally do and posting so much just to get notoriety, I would say.
Get more followers.
Yeah, get more followers.
Yeah.
For myself, like how I navigate through that, I really don't really post that much.
Okay.
Just because I try to stay off my phone as much. Like I'll be on Instagram or TikTok, but I'm not really into sharing what I'm doing in my private life, my personal life, just because it's like there is no point to it. Mm-hmm. I post every now and then, but I play the video game.
Yeah.
So that I know my phone's going down. I text the group chat like, "Yo, who's on Warzone right now? Let's get on at 3:00 today or something like that."
Yeah.
And play the game or watch TV, but just taking downtime just to step away from your phone, because that social media stuff is if you know how to use it right, it can be beneficial.
Yep.
From anybody of showing people how different things are, but if you don't, then it can hurt you a lot.
It can definitely hurt you. And we talk about the me culture, like it's all about me. Talk about the importance of like caring for your brother, like caring for the guy next to you. Like how much that matters.
Yeah, it matters to me just because like I grew up as being the oldest of my siblings.
Right.
So you always have to like sacrifice for them. Like okay, they can do that, whatever. I'll make sure they're fine.
Yeah. And
that just leads into me being a point guard, me being a leader.
Yeah.
And knowing like for me to be successful, I need my teammates to be successful.
Thrive, yeah.
Because in college, it was always like, let's try to get this dude going early.
Okay.
Just because I know I need him.
Yeah.
And I can figure out a way to get myself going. Like, it doesn't take too much for me.
Yeah.
But even in the pros, it's like, I'm going to get you these looks. Like, I'm gonna look for you right here.
Sure.
But, I'm giving you the ball, but be confident when you get it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it hurts is, everybody wants to make that jump into, you could say, college or G League and just make that big jump. Like, it's all about me. I need to score to do this. I need to score. Scoring's not everything.
That's where, That's where guys get mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can score a bunch of points, but it doesn't mean, like, you're going to make the next level of scoring a bunch
well, then are you winning?
Points.
Like, are you,
and it doesn't matter. Like,
are you playing defense?
Are you playing defense?
Like, are you rebounding?
Right. if you scored 30 and my opponent has 34, the dual guard has 34. It's like I had 30, but
Like, so what?
I gave up 4 points. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you got 4 more points than me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter about that. Like, people just enhance scoring so much. It's just, it messes up the game of just playing the right way.
100%.
You know? So I just think, like, it comes from, like, how, I wouldn't say how you grow up, but, like, just, like, your mentality and your mindset of, like, you know, like, all right, let's get this person going if you're a ball handler. Or if you're a big man, maybe it's like, maybe I can set the screen and it gets him an open layup.
For sure.
The next time I set a good screen, the big comes over now, and I get a chance to, you know,
100%.
to do something. But it depends how people think about it.
Yeah.
I'd love to know, we talk about the intangibles. How do you go about improving your intangibles? How is it maybe watching film? Is it maybe while you're playing, you have things in your mind that you're taking note of in the game, like this is something I can improve on? What's that process for you?
So it was crazy because I'm always getting the niche of, like, I don't understand how, but, like, my defense is sometimes up and down, which is, I would say, true. Just because, you know, in college I had to score.
Yeah.
But if you knew me in high school, it was me defending. And then it was like, you know, when you score, I mean, I don't want to be that player, but even at UW, I led the Pac-12 in steals.
Steals.
So you can't say my defense is bad. Maybe you know, Curry leads the league, but he just knows the game. He understands.
He knows the game. He reads. Or makes reads.
So in the TBT, actually, I played last year. It's the $1 Million tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I played, and it's like, all right, I want to go in, because we had people that scored the ball. We had Archie Goodwin, we had Anthony Clemens, we had
some other guys.
Some other dudes, you know, really good dudes overseas.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, my ninja's I'm just gonna play defense.
Right.
I don't care about nothing. I'm just gonna show everybody I can play defense. Whether whoever's watching is gonna see me, whether it's overseas scouts, whether it's the G League, whether it's the NBA, I'm gonna show I can play defense. So then I'm guarding Yogi Ferrell, like I'm guarding like dudes, Rob Gray from Houston, dudes that getting paid tons of money overseas, and it's just like, this is the mentality to have. Like, I don't really care about scoring, and I think I'm gonna play again this year. But also just knowing, like, there was like, man, like, you did whatever the game needed us to do. Like, you can't ask, you know, do other dudes to do that. Like, we know you just want to care about winning. I was like, yeah, that's always how I've been my whole life, is care about winning.
Right.
Point guard, you're based off wins and losses. Whether you can turn over the ball, handle the ball, make shots, miss shots. If you win and you play extended minute of time, then that's just my role. It's just whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, I think to segue on that, like, what are some of your routines? Like, say for instance, like how many times are you working out a day? Like, are you lifting? Like, what's the off season look like? And then the season too. If you can touch on a little bit of both.
I don't know if I want to talk about my off season. Usually is after the season, you know, you take like a week off for real, and you just kind of like casually get into it. I'll spill the beans. This off season, I took a month off. Yeah. And it was
But you needed it, right?
Yeah, like all my life I never took a vacation outside the country.
Ever.
Yeah. Like I never went to Mexico to chill, you know, everybody else. Just because like I always feel like it's something to do. Like basketball.
That's how we are. That's how our mind is. Dude.
Yeah, like, and it's messed up. Like, you know, like eventually basketball's going in and you need some like memories to have. You know, like you're not 35 and 40. You know, I want to be like younger, you know. So this time I took a month out off. And it was crazy because I was working out maybe last Wednesday or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, I'm out of shape. Like, I was tired. And I was like, maybe that's a good thing, though, because that means, like, I'm always in shape.
Yeah, always.
I'm always in shape. I'm always ready to play. I'm like, maybe that's a good thing of me being out of shape. Like, I mean, I really took time off and, you know, enjoyed.
It's a good way to look at it, honestly.
No basketball. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm watching basketball, but I'm not really playing. I'm just watching basketball. And it was like, it made me feel good, like, all right, let me get back in shape. Let me get back into the routine of things. But usually it's 5 days a week. I'm getting shots up. It depends how my body feels, really.
Are you working on different things? Are you some days shooting, some days handling?
No, I do handling and ball. So my new thing I started last summer was ball handling and passing. Passing.
Do you have someone with you there with the passing?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
So I'm making all the passes I make in the game, whether it's come off a screen, inside hand, left hand, pocket, inside and right hand, or even the hook passes to the corner when you come off a screen. That do tags. You got to make that pass and make sure it's on the money.
Oh yeah.
and they helped me a lot this season. So I'm going left, and I can just catch the ball with my left and throw it.
Yeah.
Like things like that, you don't really understand. Like I didn't really turn the ball over passing because I worked on the passing.
Mm-hmm.
And dudes like you say Trey Young and Luka, like they one of the best passers in the NBA. You know, making sure the passes are in the seams, making sure the rotation's there. It all means a lot. Passing
100%.
means a lot to dudes that can make shots and get an assist. I know being a point guard, I got to be able to, hit the pocket pass and stride where he can stop on the dot and he can maybe shoot a floater or pass it out to get the hockey assist.
Sure.
So I work on passing, ball handling for sure, something I can always get better on. And then it's just shooting. For myself, I know for me to take the next jump is 3-point shooting. And my thing is, don't lose track of like the way you play and the way you got here to get, like everything that got me here is still the same thing. Mid-range jump shots, floaters, But now the next step of my game is being confident enough and taking those 3-point opportunities because now how the NBA is, it's really three. You see the Boston Celtics miss, what, 53s, 43s or something like that?
It was so crazy to watch.
Yeah. And think about this, though. If they maybe take half of not even half, 10 of those threes away and try to go get layups, they might win those games.
Right. Like
I seen a possession where
it's a good point. Yeah.
I seen a possession. It was a 5-on-3, and Al Horford got the ball in the middle, and he had an easy layup, and he passed it out.
Because he wants 3. Yeah. Because
the
the analytic mind. Yeah. The analytic mind.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah. So it's like easy layup, and maybe it could have, and even that layup could have changed the momentum. But that pass to the corner is a good shot. You could say now, but it depends who you're playing for.
It depends.
Because if you miss it, then it's like, shit. Wide open 3, miss. It's like, dang, so it's a blow. But my routine is definitely lifting, getting stronger.
Okay. 5 days? Are you doing 4, 3 days?
It just depends, really, bro. Like I just listen to my body.
You listen to your body, okay.
That's the biggest thing. Like
you
I
feel
don't
it out.
Kill my body,
right?
And
because you know how grueling the season is.
Season's crazy,
right? Especially G League.
Man, those flights aren't. I mean, we fly regular, like we fly commercial.
Yeah.
So it's like. Some seats you're in the middle for 2.5 hours. It's like you gotta change.
Somebody's kicking back in your seat.
Come on now, you're those like 3 seats where it's like 2 right here and then 1 person right here. It's like a small plane.
Yeah.
So, but just listen to your body. That's the biggest thing, and then being honest about it. Yeah. Who I'm training with, today I kind of just want to get 200 makes, 200 threes. Up today just makes, and then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like today, I was sore from yesterday. I did like a 2-hour workout, and then I had PT.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, today I got into bed last night. I was like, yeah, I'm only doing the podcast tomorrow with you guys, and I'm going back home to relax.
That's you gotta know that.
Yeah, but just knowing like,
you gotta be okay with that.
Yeah.
I think for me, because we're such competitors, we are to be like, it's hard for me sometimes to like, oh man, we missed a day.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed a day. Oh man, I got down. But then, like, as you go on your career, you understand, like, dude, I need it.
You need it.
I need it.
You're gonna beat
you're gonna beat yourself up, bro.
Like, your body's gonna break down.
Yeah, you want to be at your best, right, Jay? Like, take a day. Even during the season, you're like, oh, I gotta fix it. Everything's gotta fix now. I gotta fix. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how we're wired.
Yeah.
Dude. And it's like, take a day.
But that's why I say like Ken Bazemore,
Grace too.
Grace.
Yeah.
Like I said, the problem's gonna be here.
Let's go, baby.
The problem's gonna be here tomorrow. You can fix it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go. Like he always be like, man, go on the walk.
Oh, well.
Like baseball would like go to like literally go like fish or go golf.
Something.
Just to get away from basketball. Because once you like, I feel like once you like put like basketball that's always in your mind, it's so hard because then it dictates everything. Like,
everything.
It changes your mood.
It changes your relationship. Like, it changes a lot of things. Your family, how you
do with your girl, like family. Like, you like, oh, I had a bad game.
Oh.
Like, I don't want to talk to nobody, I was like, like, it happens. It's the best of us. Like, one of my, Marcus Worcester, he worked with TJ McConnell in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a development. He was my guy, like my play development in Greensboro. He said, you missed a 3? Mm-hmm. Curry airball last night. Keep shooting.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Like you think about that. Like, you think like Curry, he makes you think every time he shoots it. But he airball. Like, people are human.
Yeah.
People are human. Players are human. So it helped me out. Like, yo, shoot a 3. Like, like Curry airball last night. LeBron airballed a free throw this season.
Mm-hmm.
Think about things like that. Like, you don't really
They're human,
put it,
man.
like they're human. You're
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
Like you're not perfect.
Yeah.
So it helps a lot having people that like, encourage like, all right, it's all right.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. Like, keep getting better.
Mhm.
It's gonna eventually come.
Right.
But like, don't beat yourself up about it.
Right.
Like the best of the best are missing shots.
It's the reality.
Nas really went 1 for 11 last night.
Do you think he's in his bed right now crying? No.
No,
Next game.
that's it. I can't wait to play again tomorrow. You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
go,
That's
man.
the mentality.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, things like that happen.
I'd love to know, you were talking about improving your three-point shot and how you're looking for things to improve. But you said it's important I stay true to my game too. How important is that too? Knowing what your game is while still improving and not letting your three-point shot you talk about, your mid-range game, your layup game, not letting it overlook what things you are great, best at.
Yeah. So it's just like having counters to things. I think that like you watch enough film and understanding like the scout, how people are going to guard you.
Yeah.
So now it's about having counters to do it. So I don't know when I tell my own scout. Yeah, I can't tell my own scout. I can tell my own scout.
You can tell someone else, it doesn't matter.
Nah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people scout me, and it's crazy because they know I don't really shoot too many 3-pointers. It's been like that my whole career. But they still go over screens. And they force me to my left, and I like to shoot off my left hand.
Right, the midi and all that.
Yeah, so I like to go left.
Yeah.
So what I want to improve on, and I've been improving on, since I've been working out, is going right. So everything's over off the right hand now.
Okay.
So
Ball screens primarily, or
ball screens or anything.
yeah. Just
If I get back to my left, I know I can make it. I fade off.
That's your thing.
Yeah, I like to get off my left. But now I'm getting better at going off my right.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, you force me right. All right,
Figure that out.
2 dribble, pull up with my right hand.
Yeah.
Same thing as going left now.
Yeah.
So it's just keeping that, understanding what you need to get better at. And then me and my coach in Greensboro, DJ Baker, he was like, the drills that I need to hone in on 3-point shooting, just to spot up threes is big.
Yeah.
But then even the pocket, screens where there's a ball handler come off the pocket, shot.
Yeah.
Off the pocket, shot.
Hmm.
And then 2 dribbles. And then 3 dribbles. And just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like rocket science of getting better. It's just being consistent and knowing that it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. I'm not going to be the best shooter like Curry tomorrow night, and like, it's just like the reps.
Yeah.
It's the knowing it's going to be a 4-month, 5-month process.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time training camp comes, the improvement's there.
Yeah.
So I understand that. And I know I can be patient with it,
Yeah. One thing I've learned in my career, and I'm sure you have too, but it's just the importance of like having intentional practice.
Yeah.
I think people, what happens is, and I got stuck in this loop, was like, just go in and get up some shots.
Yeah.
But they're not game speed
Yeah.
shots. They're just, I'm shooting 5 from 5. Like, that's what I'm doing. Like, talk about the importance of like intentional game speed reps. I mean, you look at Steph Curry. I mean, you look at his workouts. They're all game speed. He's sprinting full court. Like he's on the move, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the importance of being intentional in your practice.
It's the thing where, like, pace matters a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it depends who you are as a player.
Yeah.
And it depends, like, the pace you play. Luka goes full speed, but doesn't look fast.
Mm-hmm.
But that's his pace.
Right.
Curry, I think, does a lot of movement because of the way they play.
That's his.
Like he practices what he's gonna do in the game.
Right.
So it's like his thing is, you're gonna cut, you're gonna come off a screen, full speed though, just because he knows he's gonna get like guarded full speed like
That's
that.
how it's gonna be.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Luka can be more methodical and take his time and body into it because that's how he's gonna get guarded.
Mm-hmm.
Luka's not known to be fast around the game. I'm just saying how I feel about the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like dudes like the dudes that like know that, where they're catching the ball from to get the game reps. You know how usually like if you're shooting in the corner, it's like from the wing.
Yeah.
But usually now it's like, all right, for my roll, I know I'm gonna be in the corner, right? But my pass is gonna come from the free throw line for the short roll.
Right.
Where my man tags over.
Boom. He gives you quick.
Now I'm not shooting from the you get those type of shots, but then I can also get the shots from where it's short roll from the free throw line and then catching it from that angle. To get used to it. It's all about getting used to things that you see in the game.
Right.
So that's just how I'm intentional with my game now. I'm like, all right, don't pass it to me like always from the wing to the corner.
Yeah.
Let me try to get some passes from that short roll position at the free throw line.
Right.
And it's still corner shots, corner threes, but I'm getting it from a different angle where I can see like from the game. Or even if he goes baseline and I, slide down to the corner
Yeah.
So that's how I'm more intentional about this, like the shots I'm getting, where I'm getting it from, and then the pace of it,
Pace, yeah.
the pace of it. So yeah.
You talked earlier about your passing drills that you do. The first person I really like, because when we hear about drills, we think shooting, we think layups, we never really think
Yeah, you don't think passing or defense.
John Wall was the first guy that I saw like do a passing drill. I was like, oh my, this is actually crazy and cool to see that how you can actually work on that. Talk about working on things and doing drills of things that people don't really think of when they think drills.
So people think like passing just is normal. Like, I wouldn't say normal, but like everybody can pass.
Yeah, everybody can pass.
This is a pass. Like but no, it's the passes where defenders you're reading the defender where his arms may be low, his arms may be high, and coming off full speed and pacing yourself to come off the screen where if his hands are low, you're gonna throw over the top. But think about that in the game. If you do it for the first time in a game, you might not be comfortable.
It's gonna be kind of awkward.
You might lob it. You might not put the right touch on it, or it might be a turnover.
Yeah.
So if I'm working on it in the offseason, I've come off the screen, full speed. I see the dude hedge, pocket, or I can wrap around him.
Right.
And lead them but it has to be perfect. So I do it, make sure it's perfect. So all the passes I make sure, like in the corner, like he's ready to shoot.
Boom.
He's ready to shoot, but it's like okay, he's like he catches in the spot. He's ready to shoot it.
Yeah.
He doesn't really shoot it, but it's just like this knowing like okay, that's a good pass. It's kind of left, kind of right,
Right.
And it comes, sometimes it's frustrating. It's like all right, you can shoot it still.
Yeah.
But just knowing like that perfection you want to get to because in the game it's not gonna be perfect. But just know as much perfect you do in practice, it's gonna be easier in the game.
For sure.
I just make reads of come off the pocket, right hand inside, right hand, left hands, all that behind the back. Like if I'm coming off the screen on top and he ghostes it, I'm just throwing behind my back real quick, or I'm gonna hook it over top.
Yeah.
So it just depends, bro. Like and it works for me just because like I know it's a pick and roll game.
Sure.
And it's about making the next read and knowing what's going on. So it's like, all right, let me feed my big man. Let me give him some touches if he's a scoring big man. Or if he's a lob threat, just make sure you throw the right touch on it. So,
yeah, no, I think you mentioned skill development. You mentioned, a lot of Seattle greats. Talk about Will Conroy and his, help with your development. And shout out Will Conroy, man.
For sure.
He's one of the greats, man, at the University of Washington and in Seattle. Obviously coaching now with USC, right?
Yeah.
So talk about him and his help with your development and you making that big, big stride that senior year.
Yeah, man. Will helped me out so much just because he was willing to help out. He gravitates toward people that are like willing to get better, that want to work. Yeah. So he knew that. I mean, he knew me all my life from a kid to now. Like he knew my family. So it was easy, and he knows like where my goals are and where I want to get to or wanted to get to. So it was just like 6 o'clock workout, and then it's like you go home, and then you do school, and then you come back, and then it's like shots before practice, or we're gonna get shots after practice. But just having that routine with him helped out just because he cares. When you got people that care, and he gains nothing from it, but just to see you happy, you successful, and you succeed. It's like, how can you ever pay him back without? And it's just hard work. Like he can push you as much as you want to be pushed, but if you don't come in there and willing to work hard for him, because he sacrificed his time too. He has a family, he has kids. He has a job that he has to recruit other people, but he's willing to spend that time with you. Like I think before, I'm 100%, maybe I'm gonna say 95%, 99%. He had a flight to go recruit, and he still didn't miss a day of workout. Like he still got there at 6 o'clock and was like, all right, I'm about to head to the airport. You good? You need anything else? But we worked out that morning before he got on this flight to go recruit.
You care.
And you think like he believed in the routine, he believed in the work, and it's like he could have said easily like, yo, I got a fight tomorrow, I ain't gonna be able to make it to the gym. Yeah. But he wanted like, no, we still there. Like regardless, like I know the commitment I made to you for you to get better, to you come back home. I'm gonna put everything I got on you to keep getting you better, even though there's days that you don't want to get better. So or don't want to work as hard, or want to be in the gym. Like you like, oh, I can take another day off. Nah, we're still here. Yeah. So he was big into my development.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I would like to touch a little bit on the recovery side earlier too. You talk about how you like to get away video games, stuff like that. what does a day of recovery look like? Is it ice baths? Is it
That's a good question. Is it sauna? Is it
So I got into acupuncture.
Acupuncture.
Yeah, I got into acupuncture and chiropractic. Like, so I get adjusted.
Okay.
Like before games, like literally during the season, I would get adjusted right before a game. I get stretched out. But the thing I learned in professional is warming up, like not warming up, but like the heating pads.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, my hands always get cold, like for some reason before I play. So I used to get like hand warmers in my pockets and just make sure my hands are warm before the game because being cold, you know, it doesn't feel right playing, but dribbling, shooting.
Yeah.
But this like the heating pad, like I just used to put them in my hands, but I always get adjusted. One thing I did this past summer was a red light therapy.
Okay.
And that joint was crazy. Like I enjoyed that so much. It helped out everything from like even your vision. It's like it's more like it's basketball benefits, but it's even like, you know, personal benefits just from your vision, your eyes. But I don't know too much of it, but I just knew like my eyes felt a lot more better.
Were you doing that in the morning? Sorry, were you? Because
it was like the afternoon, I would say.
Like after maybe a workout.
Yeah. I'll do the little chamber thing, the ice chamber, and then do red light therapy after that. So it was good. I'm not really too big into the sauna. I mean, I did the sauna before. Yeah. But like, I think that benefits people. But for me, I just know like the things I like to do is icing, Normatex. You know, getting stretched out for sure. Like after practice, stretching is big, regardless. You know. But even with my PT, I do a lot of just basic walks, like standing, mobility, balance, and it's not really like. It's hard, but it's more mental training, like your body. Like for myself, my knee wants to cave out or cave in. Sorry. So I'm teaching myself to make sure it stays out. Right. So every time I take a step, it's like more enhanced balancing. It's like make sure your knee's out. But things like that, it's like that benefits myself. Yeah.
Do you have a specific memory, like whether it's college or high school, that's like, oh yeah, I need to share this with the podcast. Like like. You can't deny it. Like this was the best experience, whether it's a game, whether it's, you know, whatever it is.
A travel trip. We had a very good travel trip earlier in the fall.
Man.
Is it a game? I mean, it can be a game, you know.
There was so much stuff going on.
Yeah. Is there a big win?
Big win. Here in SeattleU, when we played Wazoo. At the what's that camp?
I know which one you're talking about. The Showware Center.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
We don't use it anymore, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you got to come and play. Yeah. But we played a game out there against Wazoo. And I don't think, you know, SeattleU beat Wazoo in
whatever.
Long time. And we ended up winning that game by 8. And it was just like one of those. I had a good game that game. And it was like seeing Ed Haskins, who's the assistant coach, and he was my coach in high school. Yeah. So it was like how like, dang, you guys should have came and recruited me. Now we just beat you guys.
Work.
But I think all my like big wins came from Wazoo. I mean, in Arizona, I hit a bank 3-pointer to beat Wazoo during COVID.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then we beat them here out for UW. Yeah, I think our travel story was I was sitting next to Will actually. Okay. And we was coming from Arizona. I think we was going to Colorado. Okay. And flying Colorado, like Denver.
Yeah, I know.
It's the scariest thing ever. Yeah, like, bro. It's high rocky. Yeah, like you don't know how. So I'm watching Ted Lasso on my phone, and I'm sitting next to Will, and Will's nervous. And I feel the bumps, but I don't think Will likes to fly for real. And then I look at Will. Yeah. And he starts like looking around, like we're shaking though. Like it was like one of those scary ones. Like hold on. And every time I fly into Denver, it's always like that. Yeah, because of the altitude is, how like windy it is. But it wasn't. I mean, it was scary, but it wasn't too much like craziness. But yeah, I would say like, you know, my best wins came against Wazoo for real.
That's awesome.
That travel struggle with was kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, those flights can be nerve-wracking. Yeah, man. We had a flight where the pilot's windshield like broke, and we're chartering. It was like the one time we chartered. So yeah, we chartered down to SFA. You know how that trip is, bro. So we chartered down there. Everything's good on the way there, dude. On the way back, like we had to stop at Denver. The whole shield, the front shield, Yeah. Oh, it was a whole story. Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
It's more about you. But no, that was like a nerve-wracking experience.
Flying trips are scary.
And we fly a lot. I mean, we fly a lot.
Yeah.
When you hoop,
No, this past season, oh my gosh. Every time I go to Toronto for a game, it just starts to snow.
Yeah.
So last year we had we played right before the All-Star break, so we got like a week off.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I tell you not, we had like a 4 or 5 hour delay into our All-Star week. One of my teammates actually had like a pop-up shop in Indianapolis for All-Star weekend. He does clothing. And he drove. Where did he drive from? He drove somewhere crazy. Like, I think he maybe took an Uber or he drove to Indianapolis because
my God.
Because he had to get there for the show or for the pop-up. But every time I go to Toronto, man, it's always snowing. It's always flight delayed. Like, we had to this year we literally, oh my gosh. We was snowed in for like 6 hours at the airport. Mm-hmm. Then we had to go to where do you play? Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Sioux Falls snows a lot. We had to we missed our flight. We had to go to Chicago for a night, and then they gave us like the hotel, like the airplane people or the airport. Mm-hmm. Gave us a hotel. It was like we didn't have no bags. Like it was like we left our bags after play. They're like it's still gonna be an hour and a half till you get your bags. We're like no. So then we went to the worst hotel possible. Yeah. Like when I say it's the worst hotel.
Like Motel 6.
Probably worse than that. Like it was to the point where like me and a couple players like we're not even gonna sleep. We're gonna stay in the lobby. We was in the lobby till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
There like this.
Legit just talking.
Just talking,
food. Yeah. And we're like, one of my team was like, man, I'm not going in that room. Like, it was like one of those, like,
oh my God.
Like, you don't want to lay in the bed. So then eventually I go to my room, and I'm like legit, like, on those, like, one of those, like, spinning chairs. Yeah. I'm like this, like, all right, feet up, watching ESPN. I don't want to touch nothing in here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they clean it for sure.
Or whatever, the rats.
Man, anything. So I'm like, bed bug. I'm like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. So let me just stay up. It was a crazy experience, bro.
Dang, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'd love to know who in your career, who was the funniest teammate you had, and then your stories from there.
Be careful, right?
And you, podcast
my career?
Yeah, in your career.
Oh my God.
Funniest.
Bro, it's harder to say one. I gotta say like a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you got like a
Morgan Means for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody knows.
I know Mo, man.
Mo's a clown.
Yeah.
At UW, PJ was a clown.
Yeah.
And was a clown. Like we was all just goofy.
Yeah.
Like this. I think I'm professional. RJ Hunter.
Yeah. It's funny too. Yeah.
Like this, he's just so himself.
Yeah.
So like it's just hard to even
explain.
Like legit, like the thing. Oh my gosh! When I tell you some of the stuff he just be posted, be Harry crying. On camera, but he's so funny.
No.
We just like everybody was like we just all just kept it like funny though.
Yeah, you gotta keep it loose.
Yeah, like Joe Serrano from St. John's, he was funny. He sat right next to me. Caleb, like we just had a funny group of guys. Like I've been blessed with like good teammates. Yeah, like really good teammates. Amazing. Yeah, like dudes that like are like legit like good people. Mm-hmm. So like I never had like no. Everybody's been cool with me. Like I come across in the G League and my team, even with Memphis, Greensboro. Like all my teams have been really cool. Yeah, no, that's amazing. Man, we could be going for another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, man. But thank you. Yeah, no, for the last thing, just any advice for like young cats like coming up in the game, and just something. What's some advice you can give to those guys? Believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. Even though you may not see it like it working out, just knowing that you're putting the work in. Continue to put the work in. Continue to grind. And I always tell, you can say younger, you and my brother, continue to be coachable. Mm-hmm. Continue to be a sponge of everything that's going on. Whether like you see people ahead of you, and take what they do good, and then like understand what they mess up on, and make it like beneficial for you. Mm. I would say continue to be coachable, continue to have fun with the game too. Mm. That's the biggest thing. We all started to play this game because it's a kid's game. It's fun. Right. Don't lose the fact that, as much as you're going up and, becoming more successful in your career, that it's not like, it's business, but it's also like keeping the joy in the game. Because if you lose your joy in the game, you're a drag coming to practice. you're a dread, come putting the work in. You know, you'll make excuses, you know, like figure out ways to keep it fun. And that's what I learned to like continue to keep it fun for myself. Like even the drills I do when I work out. Like, you can come in the gym and shoot, you know, 100 shots and it's like, all right, like I'm trying to do the same old drill. But then like you change it up and let's like have like different contests or, you know, compete against yourself. You know, do drills. Like I do free throw drills where it's like I gotta make 2 on the back rim. You can only touch the back rim. Right side of the rim, left side of the rim, and the front of the rim, and then 2 swishes. And I do that for free throws, and I do that for threes. So if he hits the side of the rim on the right side, you know, you gotta figure it out. But then you get lost in it because you're still making the same shot. It's just not the way that you need to make it. So you're really getting more shots up. But you're not thinking about the other shots. So
you're making it fun.
You're making it fun. But just, you know, believe in yourself. You know, have get a good support system, support team. When you're not, you know, when you're going through those ups and downs, having somebody to talk to, whether it's family, whether it's a friend, somebody you can trust. Believe in yourself, you know, keep it fun, and just stay grinding. You know, you don't know what, you know, everything has in store for you, but as long as you keep, you know, putting day in, day out, and understanding like the work pays off at the end. Because you do all this work, or you grind so hard, not to believe in it, what's the point of doing it? You can just show up and do what you do. But if you're not going to take the chances, there's no point of doing all the work.
No point. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you doing the podcast. Best of luck in your career, Terrell Brown.
Come on, man. Get it up. Let's go.